Hello, parents. Let's see here. We've got a little bit of an issue. There we go. Hello, parents of Grace Christian School. Dr. Pettinger here. Can you believe we are in week 17 of this wonderful school year? Today is a really important message. I have some information that you're going to need to hear about COVID, some information about re-enrollment coming up, and then some calendar stuff and other great things that we have happening on campus. So this might be about a 15-minute video, but it's going to be jam-packed with some important stuff that you're going to want to hear. You're not want to be able to say, oh, I didn't know about that. So it's very important. So I'd like to welcome the 14 people we have so far visiting us today. Glad to have you here. So let's get right into COVID. So the first thing about COVID is, want to let you know, over the break, I had COVID. What were my symptoms? I know everybody's always curious about what happened. Never had a fever, and I did have a massive, oh my goodness, someone turned off something important to watch me. I can't thank you enough. But anyway, I did have COVID over the break. I did not have a fever. I had a massive headache like you wouldn't believe. Kind of like a Star Trek movie when you saw Captain Kirk and he had this ring on his head and they could push a button and have severe pain. That was my number one symptom, and the number two symptom was complete exhaustion. It kept me down for about 4 days. That all I could do is get out of bed to go to the restroom, drink some water, and everything like that. I had an oxygen level of 97 to 90 using an oxygen meter, and I'm happy to tell you guys I'm fully recovered. I feel just as good as I did before it happened, but it just kind of hit me with a ton of bricks, and through contact tracing and everything, we cannot figure out for the life of me who I possibly picked it up from. So that's where we are. I did agree to participate in an antibody study, and so what that is you have to wait 2 to 3 weeks after you've had COVID, which now I'm at 2 weeks since I was cleared from the doctor. I'll go in and give blood today or tomorrow, and they will be able to determine my antibodies and that level and things like that. And if I hear anything that's earth-shattering about that or I think is pretty interesting, I will share with you. Now, I share with you my story because of the fact that I'm the school leader and I believe in full transparency. But because of all those 4 letters out there like HIPAA, FERPA, and all those things, there are privacy rules that we are not allowed to share with you about. I'm not allowed to share with you. The school's not allowed to share with you about any other student, staff member, family member, unless they directly tell us we can share it, asking for prayers or something like that. So I need you to fully understand that. And we also have people out on campus, whether it be students or staff, that we can't share with you why they're out. And they can be out for any number of reasons. Christy, who runs Christy's COVID Corner, you can be out for 10 days because you came in contact with somebody who had COVID. You can be out because you had COVID. You can be out because you left the state of California and came back and have no symptoms at all. There are a number of reasons that you may not be here at school. You might even just have the invisible flu or cold or visiting a relative or had a medical procedure. So try not to second guess why people aren't here. Christy does an amazing job. And if you see her, you need to thank her because she is doing a great job of quarterbacking this entire COVID thing as far as making sure that our students and staff are staying safe as far as when everyone can come back to school. And she has an entire process out there for making sure everyone can come back. So Christy, on behalf of the entire staff and all of our students' family, thank you very much for Christy's COVID Corner. I'm trying to get a little piece on here every week that she comes on and gives an update, but she's kind of bashful. But anyway, along with that, we have the beloved COVID crew. Who's the COVID crew? You guys know, I've talked about them before. It's the parents who have volunteered to come take temperatures, ask screening questions in the morning, as one more layer of safety, security for our students here. We need to continue to have people filling that role. And if you're willing to do it, contact Sean Menendez, our PST president. She does a wonderful job of coordinating all this, and she does need some more volunteers in case someone gets sick or things like that. We'll provide you with a new mask every day. We'll provide you with a designer mask that can go over the cloth mask. We'll also provide you with a shield to go over your mask if you like, and also gloves. So whatever your level of feeling safe is, if you'll be willing to step up and do that, that would be great. We only need one person per gate, and so reach out to Sean if you're willing to be part of the COVID crew. So that's where we are. Thank you very much for the well wishes and for the full recovery. I do feel blessed that I was able to fully recover and didn't have some of the symptoms that you hear about. I will tell you guys this as part of full disclosure. As far as I know, I'm a healthy adult. I don't have any pre-existing issues, but the one great side effect from COVID is I lost 15 pounds. So I'm sure there'd be other ways I'd rather do that than experience COVID. And the minute I came down with it, I was by myself in the house, except for me and COVID. Me, COVID, and your crew were the only people there. Re-enrollment is starting next week. This week, tomorrow, you will be receiving a re-enrollment letter along with the re-enrollment forms, and those are going out to all of our families for priority re-enrollment for our in-house students. It is extremely important that you look that over and get it turned in, because next week is the in-house priority registration. Because of the way things have been going, you know that we have a full school right now. We have a waiting list in a number of areas, and right now we have a waiting list for next year of about 40 people. So this last school year, before COVID even became an issue, we had 2 parents that waited, and when they got around to turning in their forms in August, we were full in those grade levels, and they ended up having to go somewhere else, and we never came to them on the waiting list. So that was a big disappointment. They are set to try to come back this year. Thank you so much. I'm blessed to be recovered. God's hand was on me through the whole thing, so thank you. So I reiterate to you that it's important that you get those enrollment forms in, because the following week, on Tuesday, we open enrollment, and right now Selena has about 40 names on a list of people wanting to enroll at Grace Christian School. If you have any siblings, if you have any preschoolers or kindergartners that are ready to come into GCS, this is the time to fill out those forms and get those students enrolled also. If you have any questions, you would talk to Selena Mullaney in the office. She will do a wonderful job of answering those questions for you, getting any data that you might need or information, whether it involves preschool or whether it involves the elementary or junior high. So that's what's going on. We have 30 people watching right now, so I can't thank you enough. Thank you for the thumbs up that you've been giving me and the well wishes popping up here in the chat. I greatly appreciate it. Because COVID is so crazy, we're switching gears again here out there. We have our National Junior Honor Society, which is a great group of our junior high students who really participate at a high level. Once a year, we do an induction ceremony. Those students get inducted into the Honor Society here at school. This year's no different. We're going to have one, and Mr. Rigian will be sending correspondence to each of those students' parents. It's going to be a little bit different this year. We've had some good takeaways from Character Trait Chapel, and that's what we're going to model it after. It's going to be fully video. A video link will be provided to the parents, and we know now that students will run across stage rather than pause for a few moments. So we're going to set up initial pauses and intentional pauses so that you can get a great look at your child. We're going to be practicing everything to be responsible so that we can continue to keep Grace Christian School open and move forward. So that is coming up, the induction ceremony. It will be different this year. And those of you who are getting put into National Junior Honor Society, look for a letter from Mr. Rigging. Also in junior high, this week is quarter kickback. And this week was electronic indoor quarter kickback, which meant kids could bring electronic devices and they would be supervised and be able to do some fun games indoors. We're not going to do it indoors. We're going to set it up where they can be outside in the lunch area or around the junior high modulars, and that's going to be a fun time for them. We're doing it in order to just keep them safe and keep in a great environment. We're at 27. Thank you very much. Yes, thank you for the blessings and prayers for God. Now, gentlemen and ladies, this is important. If you have a loved one in your family that you need to take care of at Valentine's, we are about to do you a solid. The two ladies in the office, Christy and Selena, have worked out a thing with C's Chocolate. We're going to have an online store that's going live today. They put this together quick. We're not going to do a restaurant night this week. We're going to put a C's Chocolate store on that you can go on and order your Valentine's Day candy. Guys, there's no excuse on February 14th that you didn't get your wife or your daughter or your son the most favorite chocolates that they like from C's. One of the great things here is these are the same price that you would pay in the store. Full disclosure, we do make some money off of it. The school does, and it helps us. And if you order over a certain dollar figure, it's also free shipping to your home. So this is a great way. The link will be provided on the thing that Christy sends out about the video. So you'll be able to go right onto the link to the store and order what you need to. And you order and forget it. And also it's being responsible because it's being delivered to your home and you don't have to go out and fight the crowds anywhere or be in lines and wait for that. Unfortunately, the one thing I can't give you is that free sample that you would get while you're waiting to place your orders. I look forward to those samples. So now's the time to check with your kids, your loved ones, your husbands, your wives, your grandmas and grandpas, moms and dads, to see are they milk chocolate, dark chocolate, milks, I think it's, what is it, nuts and chews or something like that. So great job for the ladies putting that out there. Yes, here it is, Miss O'Ruse. Christy's got it. She's putting the information right there. She gave you guys a heads up in the chat. So that's out there. Mark your calendars right now. If you have an iPhone, an Android, an iPad, and you do your calendaring on there, or if you're old school, pull out your Franklin Daytimer and mark down that we have 2 in-services in the month of January. That means school's released at 11:30 and there is no lunch service. The first in-service is on January 14th. And the second in-service is on January 28th. You may say, hey, how come we guys have 2 in-services this month? We have our WASC accreditation one-day visit that's going to be taking up some of our time to be able to get together to put this information together, because it's going to be so different. It's video. It's going to take a lot more time than normal. And that's why we set this up when we did. In August, setting 2 up, thinking that there might be an issue because we could have always canceled one. But that's important to know. January 14th, January 28th, 11:30 dismissal, no lunch if your child is staying behind. Also, Martin Luther King holiday is on January 18th. There is no school that day, no daycare, no school. Students can stay home that day and you guys can enjoy a 3-day weekend. I may have missed this before, but what would communication be if a student or a teacher does get COVID? How would we know if our family needs to? Excellent question. How would you know? Depending on who it is, we have protocols designed with the health department who we contact. Through contact tracing, if the teacher got COVID and it was within the guidelines of a time frame, we would immediately reach out to the people in that class who are involved. If a student got COVID, we would be doing the exact same thing. It's not just as easy as saying, hey, Dr. Pettinger had COVID, we need to close the whole school. No, we look at when Dr. Pettinger got COVID, they do the numbers back, when's Dr. Pettinger contagious, and who was he in contact with as to who we contact. So that's it. That's the answer to your question. And that's why it is so important. If you're not feeling well or something is up, you immediately reach out to Christy, and Christy logs all of these from your testing dates to your negative testing to what your symptoms are. And that way we know who to contact and when to contact within our school family. Our goal is to keep everyone safe and to avoid the virus at all costs. We do know that it's out there, and we do know that there are people who've got it here at Grace. And like I told you earlier in the video, my story of receiving it over the break. So that's what we do. We have a full set of protocol and procedures listed out how we would go about contacting that. And let's say Charlie Brown's teacher got COVID. We would not be telling the entire school Charlie Brown's teacher got COVID, and we would not be telling all the students in Charlie Brown's class that the teacher got COVID. What we would be saying is your child or teacher was exposed, and here are the days that you're going to have to quarantine. And that goes back to those 4 letters I was talking about earlier, and maintaining privacy and things like that. And one of the other things I forgot to mention too is there's some of our staff and family members here at school who keep the kids home because they're trying to care for somebody else who might have been exposed or has the disease. So that's it. Parents, can't thank you enough. This is week 17 that we're finishing. We're continuing to work strong. If you don't feel well, your kids don't feel well, or you've been exposed, contact Christy so that we can continue to keep everyone safe. That's our ultimate goal. We're continuing to move on with having a successful school year, and that concludes it. Don't forget, the C's Chocolate Store goes live today. Take care of those loved ones for Valentine's Day. This is probably one of our biggest shows. 35 people. That's a lot of people home, and I heard a lot of people tuned out some government things. I guess the president's talking, and you guys tuned me in. So I greatly appreciate that, and the school greatly appreciates it. Thank you again for your prayers for the school. Thank you for your prayers for me. Thank you for taking such wonderful care of our staff over Christmas with the kindness that you showed so many of us over the holiday. Parents, we are truly blessed to partner with you in developing tomorrow's leaders, and we consider it a privilege every day to get to come to this campus, no matter how trying the times are right now. Parents, have a wonderful day, and any of you students who are home today for whatever reason and are watching the video, thumbs up to you guys, and you should probably be on Google Classroom. But other than that, have a great day. So I hope, Michelle, did that answer the question for you? Give me a thumbs up if it answered the question. You were wondering the same thing. Or it says I'm wondering the same thing. So are you still wondering it? Did I not clarify it enough? Let's see, I'll give you another second. There might be a 3-second delay here, and Christy wants to bleep me or something like that. So, but anyway, all right. So that pretty much answers it. I will leave it at that. Ladies and gentlemen, and moms and dads, grandmas and grandpas, have a wonderful day till I tune in to you next week. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.